Hello, my name is Author. I am one of the authors of a book called The Secret Garden of Whispers. This is an abridged version of that book, Chapter 1, The Secret Garden. It was move-in day at Grimstone Manor, and siblings Maya and Alex were not happy about it. Their parents had just divorced, and their dad had bought this creepy old mansion with the idea that they could make it a home again. It was a big house with peeling paint, cobwebs everywhere, and rusty gargoyles on the roof. And the best part, according to their dad, was the secret garden out back. It was locked up tighter than a drum, though, and their dad had no key. He said that he'd let them explore it tomorrow after they got settled in. But Maya and Alex couldn't wait until tomorrow. They snuck out their window and into the overgrown garden. As soon as they stepped inside, the plants around them started talking. A rose bush gossiped to a patch of daffodils about how terrible the new kids were for trampling its flowers. An oak tree told them to get lost, and a forget-me-not tried to warn them about the dangers of the Whisper Garden, but it was too late. Before they knew it, the iron gate slammed shut and they were trapped. Maya wanted to panic, but she knew that would only make things worse. She remembered what the forget-me-not had said about the garden being dangerous. The flower had warned them not to trust anyone or anything, not even each other. That didn't bode well for the siblings, since they had to work together if they wanted to find the key and escape. But first, they needed shelter. As night fell, a family of hedgehogs offered them some berries and a place to sleep in their cozy nest. In the morning, when the sun shone through the trees, Maya and Alex woke up and explored a little more. There was a wishing well in the center of the garden, surrounded by tall walls. They couldn't see the top of those walls because thorny black vines grew everywhere, blocking their view. But when Maya touched one of the vines, it responded by lashing out and scratching her arm. She yelped and pulled her hand away. Then she noticed something odd. The scratches glowed green. And when she touched them, the pain went away instantly. That was strange, but a bigger mystery was what was draining the color from the garden. All the plants here seemed sick. Their leaves were wilting and their petals were drooping. Even the soil looked weak. The rose bush told them that a blight was draining the colors from the garden, and if it wasn't stopped, the entire Whisper Garden would turn gray and die. And the weirdest thing, the blight seemed to be coming from the well. The rose suggested that someone must have thrown a cursed object in there, but no one had been down there in years. When Maya and Alex asked the hedgehogs about it, the little creatures shook their heads subtly and scurried away. The siblings knew that whoever put the curse on the garden must have done it recently, because when they arrived yesterday, everything had been fine. They wondered if the garden was cursing them for trespassing, but then the forget-me-not popped up and said she was sure it wasn't the garden's fault. She had felt the curse come from someone who had entered the garden under the cover of darkness. Could it be their dad? Well, maybe. He had seemed pretty eager for them to explore the garden, but he had also acted very suspicious when they first arrived. Determined to clear their father's name, Maya and Alex decided to investigate. First, they needed some tools to reach into the well. An old shovel and rake were leaning against the wall nearby, but when Maya went to grab them, the rake flew up and whacked her on the head. Alex quickly ushered her behind him as he approached the wall and touched it with his gloved hand. The moment he did, the vines wrapping around the wall unfurled, revealing a keyhole. Maybe whatever had cursed the garden had also made it a little more accommodating. Or maybe it was just letting them leave. They used the rake to pry open the heavy wooden lid of the wishing well. Inside, they found an ornate silver locket. It was engraved with strange symbols and looked like it had once belonged to a queen. Just then, the garden erupted in cheers. The rose bush, the oak tree, the daffodils, and the forget-me-not all thanked them for restoring the garden to health. But then the party stopped. A loud voice boomed from above. Someone was watching them. Whoever it was angry that they had found the locket. They ordered Maya and Alex to throw it back into the well, but Maya refused. She was tired of listening to this person control the garden and hurt people with curses. In response, the mysterious figure unleashed a blast of energy at her. Fortunately, Alex pushed her out of the way, taking the full force of the attack. The light burned his arm, but it also revealed something. His skin glowed green, just like Maya's scratches. The siblings looked at each other, surprised. Could they both have special powers? Was that why the garden hadn't attacked them? When the coast was clear, they ran toward the house. They didn't want to stay in the garden when the mysterious figure would be back. Inside, the dusty house felt empty. It had high ceilings and thick carpets, but the stairs creaked ominously, and every room they entered seemed to have cobwebs strung across it. Alex and Maya searched for somewhere to hide from whatever lurked outside, but the garden was surrounded by high walls, and they couldn't leave without the key. Then they heard footsteps on the stairs. Whatever was out there was coming inside. Alex and Maya hid behind a suit of armor as the footsteps approached. A woman carrying a lantern emerged from the shadows. She gasped when she saw them. "Who are you?" she asked. "Are you ghosts?" Alex told her that he and his sister were not ghosts, but she didn't believe him. Instead, she ordered them to show themselves to the master of the house. But when they came out of hiding, she screamed and stumbled back. Her lantern fell to the floor and shattered, plunging the room into darkness. She was frightened of them because of their glowing skin. Alex and Maya didn't blame her. They didn't know why their skin glowed or what it meant. But they figured out that they could use it to their advantage. When the woman screamed, the shards of her lantern scattered around them, reflecting the green glow from their arms. The woman thought they were magical, and she fainted dead away. Chapter 2, The Curse of Grimstone. The siblings carried the unconscious woman to a bedroom and laid her on the bed. She had a cut on her hand, so Maya used her glowing touch to heal it. The wound closed immediately. When the woman woke up, she was even more shocked to see them, but she was also grateful for their help. She introduced herself as Agatha and told them that she was the caretaker of Grimstone Manor. She had lived here for a long time, but she didn't remember any children living here before. And she definitely didn't remember a garden out back. Turns out the garden was actually a secret. No one except the master of the house knew it was there. Agatha had only discovered it when she was dusting the attic and found a loose floorboard. It had led her to a hidden staircase that went down into the garden. But why did their dad build such a secret place? And why was it cursed? When Agatha heard about the glowing green skin, she confirmed their suspicions. The curse was affecting everyone who stepped foot into the garden. The siblings wondered why their dad would expose himself and his new family to such danger. And they knew that the only way to break the curse was to find the source of its power, the locket. But where was it? Alex and Maya returned to the wishing well, but the locket was gone. They searched all over the garden, but the only clue they found was a single white feather. The siblings followed the feather's path to an old oak tree. One of its acorns had been split open, revealing a tiny keyhole inside. When they put the feather in the hole, it opened and revealed a hollow space inside the acorn. Then the rose bush spoke up. This was the key to the garden shed. The siblings ran over and yanked the heavy door open. Inside, they found a rocking horse and a girl's doll, both carved out of wood. Then they spotted a loose floorboard, too. The oak tree had sent them a message. Beneath the floor was a small key. They put it in the lock of the shed door, but it didn't fit. It was the wrong key. Just then, Maya noticed something odd. The rocking horse seemed to wiggle its nose. The siblings watched in amazement as the horse reared up and took a step toward them. The doll moved, too, but it just blinked its glassy eyes. Was the horse real? It didn't look or feel like wood anymore. Its fur was soft, and its muscles rippled beneath its skin, and its eyes, they twinkled like stars. The horse nudged Maya with its nose. It wanted her to ride it. She climbed onto its back and held on tight as it galloped through the garden, dodging trees and bushes, then leaping over the wall and vanishing into the night. Chapter 3: The Origin of the Curse. When they arrived back in the garden, the oak tree told them that the horse was a whisper steed, a magical creature that was bound to the garden and its previous owner, a young girl named Iris. Long ago, Iris had loved playing with the whisper steeds, but she had been forced to move away when the manor was deemed unsafe. When she left, she placed the whisper steed under a sleeping spell along with the garden. She didn't want it to wither without her. And now her locket, which had once glowed brightly, had become dull with sadness. The siblings understood now. The curse wasn't evil, it was just lonely. But if they wanted to break it, they had to find the locket. The whisper steed had taken them to its favorite place, the ruins of a playground. All around them were swings, slides, and a climbing frame, all covered in ivy. The siblings looked around for clues, but it was no use. Everything was old and broken. Then Alex noticed a loose brick. He pried it away from the wall and found a hollow space beneath. He reached inside and pulled out a ring. It was simple, made of twigs and leaves, but it pulsed with a faint green light. As soon as he touched it, a vision flooded his mind. He saw Iris playing in the garden with her whisper steed, but then he saw her fall off the monkey bars and scrape her knee. She cried out in pain, but the whisper steed nuzzled her and healed her wound. In response, Iris gave the steed the ring. It glowed brightly, happy to receive such a precious gift. Then Iris disappeared and the vision ended. When Alex opened his eyes, he realized what he had to do. If the ring was powerful enough to heal Iris's scraped knee, then it should be able to heal the garden, too. He gave the ring to the rose bush, and it glowed brighter than ever. All around them, the garden burst back into color and the flowers perked up. The blight was gone. The siblings raced over to the wishing well and found the locket lying at the bottom. It was warm to the touch and thrummed with magic. With the curse lifted, they could finally leave the garden. When they unlocked the gate, the whisper steed whinnied happily. It bowed its head and nuzzled Maya's cheek. Then it galloped off into the sunset. Back in the house, Maya and Alex showed Agatha the locket. She gasped when she saw it. She recognized it immediately as belonging to Iris, and she promised to find Iris's descendants so they could return the locket to her family. Alex and Maya smiled at each other. They had saved the Whisper Garden and made a friend in the process. From then on, Maya and Alex spent most of their time exploring the house and the grounds outside, which had also been cursed by the locket. They never forgot about the Whisper Garden, though. They visited often and brought their friends so that everyone could experience the magic for themselves.